right. Hey, everybody. This is Pete here. All right. Welcome to another week of Fire Chat with Pete. All right. Invest with Pete. So today I have a really special guest. Okay. So this is really something that we've been arranging for months. I don't know how many of y'all have been following my community. I talked about bringing on somebody that really knows the crypto scene way more than I do. And I just want to bring him on to share his expertise and more importantly, right, how is cryptocurrency going to really help the retail investors? Because most of us, when we heard about cryptocurrency, a lot of time maybe the hype, maybe the FOMO. Okay, so let me just do a quick introduction before I bring him on. Okay, so today with me, we have Jeremy Ng, all right, Managing Director of Gemini Asia Pacific. Now, when I first reached out to Jeremy, or he reached out to me, actually I can't remember who reached out to who, but but not important anymore, right? But when he first came talking to me, right, I was like, hey, who is this guy? You know, like this very suave looking guy. You know, look at this picture, right? And I just decided to do some background check on him, right? Like all good interviewers. So I realized, you know, he's probably somebody that you will never expect to be the champion that is talking a lot about cryptocurrency recently, right? Because this is his background, right? Mr. Jeremy was from Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, right? And more recently, he was the CEO Asia for Leontech. You know, it's really kind of, you cannot get more Wall Street than this, right? And recently, in I think June, something was announced, and that really shocked the whole scene, right? And because he was named the managing director of Gemini Asia Pacific. All right, so from someone who was a Wall Street corporate to right now, he is the champion that talks about cryptocurrency and especially in Asia. All right, and Gemini has actually started their Asia Pacific headquarters. I might be wrong about this, but later Jeremy can correct me on that. All right, they started in Singapore, and Jeremy is heading that whole effort. Okay, so guys, I'm very happy to bring on Jeremy as a guest today to have a chat with him, to talk really about everything under the sun about cryptocurrency. And more importantly, I want to dig deeper with him. How did he come from such a corporate background, you know, and have a 180-degree change towards the cryptocurrency scene? Okay, now guys, as usual, before we go into that, let's do some quick disclaimer. Once again, guys, whatever we want to share here, right, with you guys are all for educational purposes. All right. So if you do any investment decision, please consult your own financial advisor or do your own due diligence. All right. None of this should be construed as any form of investment advice. Okay. All right, guys. If you guys are hearing us, can you type in Jeremy? Okay, guys. If you are hearing us, can you type in Jeremy? Okay. So without further ado, let me bring on my guest tonight, all right, Mr. Jeremy Ng. Hey, Jeremy.
Hi, Pete. How are you?
Hello. Okay. Hey, Jeremy. So congrats on your new role as the MD of Gemini Asia Pacific. But maybe before we start, Jeremy, can you just give our audience a quick introduction about yourself?
Sure. Well, first of all, you know, it's a real honor and privilege to be live with Pete. You know, someone that I've been following very closely, you know, on all your very, very sharp investment ideas and recommendation, and I make some money out of it. So thank you very much. And
none of these are recommendation.
Well, no recommendation, but you know.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like you say, you know, I spent 20 years of my career, you know, fresh out of college, with investment banks. So I started at Goldman Sachs. You know, first as an intern, and then I joined them, you know, full time as the analyst in the equities division, and then I also spent time with Morgan Stanley and Deutsche Bank, and I was back in Goldman again to help them build up the whole structured product distribution business, and so you know, the 15 years in really kind of Wall Street banks, and then last 5 years, you know, with a structured investment product specialist called Leontech, Swiss-based, to run their Asia business, you know, covering Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan offices. And so that was 20 years of my career, just kind of fly by like that, you know, going through the tech boom and bust in 2000, if you remember, and 03, you know, where SARS hit us in Asia.
Oh yeah, totally, man, totally.
And then, you know, more exciting, you know, then we go through a nice wave up, you know, 07, 08 until the peak. And then we hit with the Lehman financial crisis, you know, seeing how how that kind of unfold. And I was in Hong Kong, so I kind of felt it even a lot more, with the market kind of collapsing. And over the last 10 years, how the whole financial industry has really changed, right? And after the financial crisis, how regulation come in, to kind of stifle a lot of kind of creativity, so to speak. And then after 20 years of that, I think it kind of dawned on me that there needs to be something that that can aspire, more growth, more interesting investment return, and I think most of all, to create value to the mass market, bringing what we call the future of money to everyone. So I think that in a nutshell, what I used to do is to create all these interesting structured investment product, but only accessible really to a handful of people, the high net worth or the institution. And crypto is interesting because the concept of that, being decentralized, not being controlled by anyone, no banks, financial institution, or government, and anyone that has a mobile phone and internet, which pretty much covers most people, can have access to that at a very low cost. I think that in itself, fascinates me. So, but anyway, I'm blabbering now, so I'll stop here.
No, I think it's awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Hey, but Jeremy, that brings me to my first question, right? And I think many people are dying to understand, like, what pushed you from such a corporate, structured products background? How did that switch happen? Why did you suddenly have this deep interest into cryptocurrency? And more importantly, how did you end up at Gemini? I think as a fellow Singaporean, I'm super proud, right, that Gemini has started their HQ in Asia Pacific in Singapore, and rightly appointed one of our fellow Singaporeans as the head. So how did that happen? Give us a rundown.
Sure. So I think I would say that kind of goes back to maybe 3 years ago. I started investing in cryptocurrency, just like most people. All the hype and investing right at the peak of the market. End of 2017, the beginning of 2018.
3 years ago. So when it was 20K.
Yeah, so I invested, maybe slightly less, short of 20K when it peaked, and then by the time I funded everything, it kind of dropped to about 14K. So that's when I enter, and obviously I write it down all the way to 3,000.
Wow!
And kind of one side, I didn't want to look at it. So angry and so frustrated. So that was a 2 years winter, but I will say that but I keep watching the space, and apart from cryptocurrency as an investment instrument, I started to look into the whole blockchain technology behind it, and really see there's so much value that it can bring to the society. Whether is it within the financial business or even in our normal corporate business, that using blockchain technology can really digitalize the whole way we do business. So I kind of got quite interested in that, and even personally, I was trying to create a business that will leverage on blockchain technology. And I mentioned before, the last 10 years, in fact, last 12 years or so after the financial crisis, the way the regulators are coming down to kind of clamp down on innovation, just wanting people to kind of do just the same thing, run the mill, because they don't want to take on too much risk. And that make my job, quite difficult, especially I'm in the structured product space in derivatives, where a lot of financial engineering is needed to kind of create, interesting product for clients. But because of the regulatory control, it becomes very difficult to do that. And it just kind of become a very commoditized business. So that kind of lasted for 10 years, and it's getting more and more difficult. And then obviously, this year, 2020, the interest into cryptocurrency has kind of come back. And it just so happened that, one of my very good friend is the head of Cumberland, which is one of the largest cryptocurrency OTC trading house. And we're having coffee, and he was just kind of telling me that, hey, Jeremy, a lot of people in the crypto space are looking to come into Singapore to set up an office. And just a bit of backdrop. Back in November last year, MAS, our regulators, came out to say that they're interested to regulate the whole cryptocurrency space. So that is actually huge. And they basically say that, for all crypto related businesses, in order to continue operating in Singapore, they need to apply for a license. And what that means is that if you are a crypto exchange, the only way they can continue operating is to really set up an office here in Singapore and be properly regulated. So that's why the guys like Gemini and among a lot of other exchanges are looking for people to help them start the business. And my friend was asking me whether am I interested to talk to the Winklevoss brothers, and I was like, no harm, I just never thought that they would want to talk to me. I'm a Wall Street guy, right? So what I know about crypto, and the rest is history.
Wow. This is crazy, because when I first met you guys, so when I first actually I haven't officially met Jeremy, but when I first virtually met Jeremy, and I just asked this very tongue-in-cheek kind of question. And I was like, hey, have you met the Winklevoss brother? And I kind of not hoping, I expected him to say, oh, of course not, they are so high up there. And like, hey, thanks Jeremy for sending this book to me. Hey guys, by the way, later on we're going to do a lucky draw for those of you who are here right now watching this live, right? The one lucky winner will get this Bitcoin billionaire. So basically this book is talking about the Winklevoss brothers, right? So for those of you who are not aware, the Winklevoss brothers are made famous by their issues with Mark Zuckerberg over Facebook, right? They claim that Mark Zuckerberg stole their idea about Facebook. But anyway, so they are right now if I'm not wrong, Jeremy, they are the president and I don't know, basically co-founders of Gemini, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, president and CEO of Gemini internationally. So Jeremy, so in the end, did you meet the Winklevoss brother?
Well, it was very unfortunate because by the time we started talking, it was COVID lockdown, and we can only have video calls like this. So I was actually the first hire they've ever made without physically meeting.
Without physically seeing.
Yeah. So if not, then I should have been in New York, and spend time with them. But they are actually, I have the same question, right? Before I spoke to them, I was also thinking, okay, these two guys, celebrity status and billionaires and all that. But when I had my first video calls with them, they're dressed just like this in a t-shirt. In fact, I think one of them was like in the tracksuit, just finished, jogging or running. Very down to earth, no airs, very unassuming, and we even started talking about a lot of things that's outside of business. So, one of the brothers is actually a very good guitar player. So they saw that I had a guitar, behind my back, and he started bringing out his guitar and showing me his custom-made guitar, and talking about how their grandmother used to start a church. So kind of all kinds of things, right? And we had multiple conversations and really kind of clicked. And later on, after I decided to they gave me an offer and decided to join them, and so they were sharing with me and also within the management team why they decided to have me join the company. It is really, a lot of it has to do with a shared philosophy in terms of how we view life, how we view investment, and in general how we view business. So the Winklevoss twins has a very long-term vision for the company and also for the crypto community. So Gemini is founded by them back in 2015 and is still wholly owned. And because they're wholly owned and not have VC money like most other exchanges, they are able to execute the vision for the company. Unlike, if you are a VC-backed company, then you have this constant revenue pressure and you got to pump, right? And for us, we have this very long game, and that's why we choose to be regulated in New York, which is the most difficult place to get the toughest,
right?
And it's actually not fun because there's actually no need for any crypto exchanges to be regulated in that manner. But because we choose to be regulated, it limits us on a lot of the things that we can do or we can offer. But we choose to do that because we have a very long-term game plan, and we believe that at some point we work closely with regulators and we make our users very comfortable and feel that they can trust us. Then in the end, it's a long-term game. Crypto is going to be here to stay for decades. So I think that part of the kind of philosophy that we have very long-term mindset, really kind of bind us together, and we feel that we can work together.
Wow, that's amazing. Like I can't wait to meet them in person if I can. But right now it's just
I'll make sure they when they come
through
to
the web.
Singapore, when they come to
Yes,
Singapore, they
please,
can. I'll make
please
sure
invite
they meet
me.
you shortly.
Hey, but Jeremy, speaking of that, right? You're talking about the vision of Gemini. So I think maybe can we touch on that a little bit? Because when I go into the cryptocurrency scene, a lot of times what is being talked about is, oh, make a quick profit, I'm just gonna sell to the greater fool, that kind of thinking. So what's Gemini's vision in cryptocurrency or maybe in Bitcoin in particular, and how is Singapore part of that plan?
Sure. We always talk about crypto as the future of money, and why do we call that the future of money? Is because the future of money would mean two things, right? One, accessible to everyone, or we call it to bank the unbankable, the unbanked. So a lot of people, quite if you think about how does a bank work, it's always a running joke, right? The people that need money are probably not the people that the bank wants to lend money to. And I think that's precisely the problem, right? Because they are intermediary, and the core of it is they want to make a profit. And nothing wrong with that, but that's just how the financial institution is being built. But cryptocurrency, blockchain technology is essentially a technology that is being recognized by everyone and is not controlled by anyone. So with that blockchain technology, you can really kind of access everybody, and at a way that's very transparent and at a way that is very cheap because of technology. So our vision is, obviously, we start out with enabling everyone to have a chance to own a piece of this new economy, and to be able to, in a way, enhance their own personal wealth or equity through that. So that's the first part, and that's why we created an exchange, and we created a custodian that is of the highest security. But further down the road, then obviously we want to be able to enable the blockchain technology to actually have a real impact on people's life. Just right now, what we're doing is, for example, we created this nifty gateway, NFT, which is non-fungible token, that people can kind of like tokenize their art pieces and allow everyone to make a price and to kind of buy sell. Previously, you want to do that, you need to go to Christie's, right, and pay a huge sum for all these guys to organize. So I mean, that's just one part of it, and obviously there's a lot of things in the pipeline. But I think the most important thing, or at least the first step, is for everybody to at least have a piece of this, what we call digital gold, Bitcoin, and participate in the whole ecosystem. So that's our game plan. And to come back to the question about where does Asia sit in this whole piece? So Gemini has predominantly been a US focused company, for the last 5 years, and the vision now has changed. That our founders, want to bring the experience to the rest of the world. And Asia, I mean, we are like 3/4 of the world's population, right? So clearly, Asia has an important role to play. And why we chose Singapore as our launch pad, I think for two reasons. One is the regulatory environment. We have MAS, who is at the forefront of, they're the early adopter for most of the things. Look at the way they promote fintech. I think it's a real testament how forward-thinking they are. So you look at Hong Kong, you look at some other regulators, they're still kind of lagging a little bit behind. So Singapore, clearly strategically located, and you look at financial hub, it is really between Singapore and Hong Kong. And we decided to choose Singapore for that, and I echoed that and told them that that should really be the place and be the launch pad into the rest of Asia. So we have huge plan for Asia. Clearly, it will be, in my view, I'm just very ambitious for Asia that it will be the second largest office for Gemini outside of New York. It should be.
Wow. Can't wait. I can't wait for that to happen. Hey, but Jeremy, maybe now let's take some questions from the audience, right? So I think maybe this question will allow us to maybe dive deeper into this topic about what is the value proposition of cryptocurrency, basically, right? Lampinto is asking, right? Can Bitcoin be a practical form of digital money with its high volatility, right? Should the currency be more stable, right? So Jeremy, from your view as a CEO of APAC for Gemini, how do you see that? I'm sure you get this question on a daily basis, right? So
Yes, I do.
What's your view on this?
I think that's a very good question. I'll take it in two parts. So Bitcoin, rightly said, was created with the purpose of being a digital currency for payment, for exchange. And but the question is, like you say, given its high volatility, does it make sense? So two part of it, right? One is, this is my personal view. I no longer see Bitcoin to be used as a form of digital currency, as a form of payment. Why? I'm looking at Bitcoin more as a store of value. So using gold as an example, I think gold is a very good example. So gold was initially also being used as a mode of exchange. Remember all these like old Hong Kong
old
movie?
Chinese shows.
Yeah, they carry the yuanbao, right?
Bring a bag of gold nuggets.
Exactly. So that's how gold was started, because it's rare, it's precious, and limited supply, and that's why they kind of use that, right? But look at where gold is. Gold is no longer being used as a mode of payment, and is replaced by government issued paper, which we all know that has unlimited supply and is depreciating.
Yeah, this year we see the government breaking all limits.
It's crazy. Now I'll come to that as well. And I think that is also quite a strong catalyst behind why Bitcoin has been rising. But so I would say, because of the nature of Bitcoin, given the limited supply, there is value. So value will increase. It's a deflationary asset, unlike your money. Your US dollar is an inflationary asset, meaning that the value actually goes down. I would say that people actually would look at it as a store of value. So that's one. The second part about volatility. So Bitcoin is still slowly maturing as an asset class. So just like any new asset class, like a company, when it first started as a small cap company, it is more volatile, clearly. But as it mature and it start to grow and start to become mid cap and large cap, then the volatility will reduce. And for Bitcoin, the high volatility over the last couple of years is mostly driven because the players that are buying and selling are mostly retail. And retail is more crypto-minded, so they try to trade, and the liquidity is not that deep. So any big orders coming in, either buy or sell, can create a lot of volatility. But this year, we can see that it's a very different market in 2020. The market participant has skewed towards institutions. So there's a lot more institutional players coming in. And when that happens, it means that the market will start to stabilize, and you will begin to see volatility, dropping. And we've witnessed that in Bitcoin. The volatility right now versus what it was 2-3 years ago is really day and night. So to answer the question, I don't think it will be used as the mode of payment, because there's more value to hold it. But two, eventually the volatility of that should reduce.
Okay. But Jeremy, talking about the part where you mentioned there are more institutional money going to Bitcoin, and we read that, for example, in some of the US listed company like MicroStrategy, they put their whole balance sheet basically, right? They converted all their cash holdings, I think over
425 million.
425 million, sorry,
425 million.
into Bitcoin, right? So that guy literally bought away like, I don't know how many % of the existing float, right? So
at 10,000 at the time. Well done.
Yeah, at 10,000. So the thing is, we are seeing definitely more institutional money flowing in, but it seems to happen at a switch, like so sudden, right? So Jeremy, from your angle, coming from the Wall Street side of the house, why do you think this is happening now? Why not? Why not before? Why not a gradual thing? It's suddenly like the floodgate just opened, right?
Yeah, I mean that is I think a lot of that has to do with education, learning. So especially for a company like a corporate, especially a listed company, they are, their treasury investment is all audited, and they all have to report, to their shareholders. So they need to spend a lot of time actually to really study the asset class and to get internal board approval. So that process is quite lengthy. So that's one part. And the second part, I think, has to do with catalyst. So I mentioned before, especially the U.S. Federal Reserve, right? It's printing money like there's no tomorrow, expanding the balance sheet, and I think people start to realize that holding on to U.S. dollar is going to be a losing game. They are not going to beat inflation. So as they look for alternative asset class, at that point, I think when MicroStrategy was looking to invest, equity market has already rallied a lot. And the fixed income market, same thing, right? Yield has been falling, so credit spread has been tightening. So there's not a whole lot of value left. So obviously for MicroStrategy, it is not usual. They are very bold because nobody will put all their eggs in one basket, but they chose to. And on a side note, actually, what they did recently? They raised 600 million of bond offering.
Yes.
So they're borrowing money to invest into Bitcoin.
Yeah, so there was this thing about, if you want a proxy investment into Bitcoin, you just buy the MicroStrategy shares.
Yes, exactly. So the bondholders are also expecting the strategy to work, and obviously the equity investor also doing the same thing. So I would say that, so this year kind of almost like the stars are all aligned, right? Where all the other asset classes are expensive. Monetary easing, is going on at full scale. So dollars are devaluing, and that kind of gives a very good catalyst for people to look for uncorrelated asset class that can appreciate and beat inflation. And Bitcoin, is the choice for MicroStrategy in this case.
Yeah. But Jeremy, I just want to play the devil's advocate here, right? Like what you mentioned when you first started investing in 2017, there was this huge bubble that went all the way up to 20K, and then it came down precipitously down to $3,000, right? So it's happening now. It's going back up to 20,000. We are at 19,000 something right now. So
Yes.
How is this different from what we saw? Could this be just another bubble for Bitcoin especially?
Yeah, so typically, what happened, to a bubble is the hands, or we call it there are a lot of weak hands in the market, and typically, retail investors are the weak hands because they typically don't have a very long-term mindset, and they will go long when the market is going higher, and then they'll start dumping when the market is going lower. So this year, especially, I would say, starting from the second quarter of 2020, we are seeing not only there's always going to be more retail investors coming in, but I think what is encouraging is three pots of money that are new and they have come in. So one, we talk about corporate, there's one of them. So other than MicroStrategy, there's also Square, there's invested 50 million. And I think the last I checked is among the US listed company, the corporate treasury, and it has invested over 10 billion into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So corporate investors, that's one. Second one are the high net worth. So we're seeing increased amount of high net worth family offices, and I personally have been speaking to a lot of them. And for the first time in my career, I've got clients cold calling me to ask me about how I set up an account with Gemini and start investing. Never happened in my life. Okay, maybe back in 1999 where we've got investors calling me, okay, you're from Goldman Sachs, maybe you can give me some equity IPO, tech IPO. But other than that, this is the first time. They're all, getting very interested, and after spending time and understanding and educating themselves, they're coming in. And then lastly, the institution money. And this is the most serious part of the money because the institutions to control the bulk of the market in terms of the amount of AUM that they have. So I'll give you a few examples. Grayscale, a US crypto fund, right? They have Bitcoin, they have Ethereum. So the Bitcoin fund,
right? Yeah,
correct, hit 10 billion last month. Just early this year, it was 2 billion, so 5 times. And these are sticky money. They kind of come in, they don't trade. They're not trading. They really come in and put in investment in the 401k, which is the US pension, allows them to invest in that. You look at the CME, Bitcoin futures, the open interest. The open interest basically shows you that how much trading activity or outstanding positions there. So it just crossed 1 billion.
Wow.
Compared to early this year, it was at 200 million. So 5 times. And only institutions will be trading in the CME exchange.
Yeah.
And then we hear about billionaire hedge fund managers, Paul Tudor Jones,
yeah.
Stanley Druckenmiller, who was like, he basically flipped, right? And say, okay, I think Bitcoin is going to be viable, and started investing. And then you look at some other corporates like PayPal. Just last month, they enabled 346 million of their users to be able to trade Bitcoin on PayPal, and also to use cryptocurrency for payment.
Yeah, wow, it's crazy.
And I mean, these are real. These are basically real money that's coming in, and they are more sticky, and they look at it more for long-term investment. So I feel that this rally up is very different from back in 2017, where the institutions are completely denying it. If you remember, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan just said that Bitcoin is a fraud, right?
Yeah, famously said.
But obviously he changed his tune. And then even like close to heart here in Singapore, you see DBS, and everybody just read about how they just launched the exchange and custody. I think that really legitimized cryptocurrency as a viable and asset class.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like I really think this time round the rise to 20K is not like last time where there was no good reason, And I think for better or for worse, thanks to COVID, it kind of accelerated the whole progress of it, right? But hey guys, how many of y'all here who are watching right now, you have a Gemini account? All right. If you guys have a Gemini account, can you type in the word Gemini? Okay, I just want to see how many of y'all. And Jeremy, you talk about derivative and these are all still only accessible to high net worth and institution, right? So I don't know if you can share this about, maybe just poke your brain a bit. Like, do you foresee derivative like options, futures eventually become more accessible to retail? Just like how we can trade. Like for myself, my main trading tool now is options on the stock market, right? So do you see that happening? And maybe can you share a little bit? Is that also part of Gemini's game plan as well? If it's too secretive, then no, it's okay.
So I would say that right now the options market in cryptocurrency is not that deep. And I think also quite similar to traditional asset class, when equity, first started trading, people are just trading equity, buying and selling stocks, right? And it's only until, say, early 2000 where people start to look into more options related strategy, vanilla option, and then slowly become more and more complex. So I would think that there's a very good chance that this will also happen in cryptocurrency as an asset class, that you will first start out with just trading, buying and selling, spot or physical, and then you will have option-based strategy start to kind of come in. Now, my background is obviously structured products, so it is my first love. And while we do not offer any of these product in Gemini, I wouldn't discount the fact that that each in me will start to think about ideas that's along that line, because I do feel that there is a lot of value when it comes to having certain kind of structured product, that can give a interesting kind of risk return reward to investors that want something outside of just simply betting it to go higher or betting to go lower. So that is as much as I can offer.
anything beyond that, you have to kill me. No, just kidding.
I think it's also kind of like Gemini's philosophy. We tend to be a little bit more conservative. We prefer to announce something after we actually have it ready, than tease people for months or maybe years before we launch it. You'll be the first to know, Pete.
Yeah. Having said that, the thing is, there's so much going on with the Gemini, and I remember back then the Winklevoss twins actually talked about starting a ETF for Bitcoin, right? So how's that going? And I think that could be one of the best ways to get retail investors involved, through the use of ETF, as we've seen the increase of fund flows into passive investing. So how's that coming? Do you all talk about that with the Winklevoss twins?
No, I mean, it's definitely is always at the top of our agenda. And the ETF, because we're looking to list in the US, the US regulators are they're a lot more stringent than anywhere in the world. So anything that has to do with the retail distribution, they're super careful. And that's why they have not allowed us to list the ETF. Neither have they allowed anyone at all to do that. But we actually have worked with other regions. So we have worked with other managers to list ETF or similar, to ETF in Canada, in Switzerland. So we're involved, and we're also talking to some other people in Asia as well, in areas that the regulators are more friendly to the idea of ETF. But I mean, if you ask me, yes, I think ETF would attract a certain kind of investors, especially it will attract maybe discretionary portfolio managers that want to kind of trade on a discretionary basis over their clients. But for
like myself, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So for you, it'd be easier that you can use the ETF, right? So
Yeah.
I see the value in that. But at the moment, all of us, all we need is a phone, mobile phone, and internet, and you can already download the app and start trading Bitcoin.
Exactly.
So I think it's still fine for now, but clearly it's something that we are still working on.
Yeah. All right. We have so many Gemini users right here. Okay. So,
Nice, great.
so yeah, we should organize a gathering at Gemini's office in Singapore. Right? But hey, I think Ryan here has a great question, because there's something that I observe as well, is that a lot of Malaysians have issues opening up a Gemini account. Right. And Jeremy, maybe just share with our Malaysian audience here, like, is there any plans for them?
Thank you for interest from Malaysia. So the Malaysian market is quite a highly regulated market, and currently I believe there are only 3 exchanges that has the digital asset exchange license. We're not one of them. So in order for us to operate there, either we got to go in there to apply for license or maybe make an acquisition. So at the moment, unfortunately, we are not able to offer that yet. So, but when we do, we will definitely let you know. And Southeast Asia clearly is one of the market that we are looking at. And I saw another question about Indonesia. I think
Indonesia as well. Yeah.
Same.
Wait, Jeremy, I think you accidentally muted yourself. No worries. We're back.
Sorry, I lost you.
No, we're good. So you're back. We're back. Okay, so yeah.
I couldn't hear Pete.
Can you hear me now, Jeremy?
Can you guys hear me? Because
yes,
I can't hear you anymore, Pete.
Oh, you can't hear me anymore. Let me see.
Why is it a technical problem? Give me a second. Maybe I try to log out and log back in again.
Yes, let's do that. Okay, so guys, while Jeremy log out and come back in
I couldn't hear anything. Maybe let me log out.
All right. So while Jeremy log out and come back in again. Okay, so guys, just want to let you guys know, if you have always wanted to open a Gemini account but you haven't done so, all right, I'm going to be very shameless here because I'm going to show you my referral code, okay, for Gemini, okay? So you guys can go to bit.ly/PeteGemini, right? That's the code that you can open up a Gemini, and you actually get $10 of Bitcoin free upon your first purchase of $100 in Bitcoin as well, okay? So while Jeremy's away, I'm just going to do a bit of advertisement here. Let me bring back Jeremy right now. Okay. Hey, Jeremy.
Sorry about the technical.
No worries. I think you were too excited talking about the Asia expansion plan, right? So So
Very excited about
the thing is that's why I think it's very important, to set up in Singapore, because we're right smack in the middle, right? It's very easy for you, to go across the water and reach out to them. And like what you say, we are one of the most regulated. So if you can clear the hurdle here, that makes it a lot easier for you to clear in other places. Maybe now I just ask a very cheeky question. So this one is by Lam Pinto as well. She said, "Hey, I'm on Binance SG. Should I change?" So I think the overall question here is, there are quite a few providers of Bitcoin, of crypto exchange, right? There's, of course, in Singapore, Binance SG, that allows you to purchase cryptocurrency directly using Singapore dollars, right? And of course, there's Gemini, and we have Coinbase and things like that. So, Jeremy, maybe just share with us, right? Like, how is the crypto exchange companies seen in Singapore? Are you guys friends? Are you guys not friends? And more importantly, right? Maybe try to give a perspective, like for retail investors, right? What should they look out for when they choose a exchange in this case?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Well, first of all, the crypto community is pretty small. And we actually are very friendly with each other, because if you think about it, it is still a maturing asset class. So the ecosystem can only grow bigger if we actually are more connected in one voice. So when DBS announced the digital exchange, I was super happy. I don't look at them as, another competitor that comes in. No, I'm basically looking at it.
Whoops. Wait, Jeremy, I think we lost you again. Give me a second. I think we lost Jeremy's voice again. Let me just try. This is too exciting. When we talk about expansion plans, right? That's suddenly, maybe the censorship is here. Jeremy, can you hear us?
Okay.
Yes, we're back.
I'm back again. I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear now. Loud and clear. Yep. So you were saying you guys are
I would
friendly,
say that we're friends.
Yeah.
We're friendly. We all think about how we can help to promote the whole ecosystem, how to provide more education. So that's one. So I wouldn't discredit any of my friendly competitor. I think each of us will have our place in the ecosystem. Now, what does a retail investors look at when they choose an exchange, right? I think a couple of things. One is, how important is security to you? You'll be surprised. Actually, some users don't care too much about the security. They actually don't find out too much, and somehow I think they just have like full trust. But I've come across a lot of investors that the first question that they ask is not about your fees or your offering or what coins you allow. They ask about, how secure are you? And I think that's where really Gemini, spend a lot of our time, building the company, to base on that, on compliance and security. So we're regulated. We actually want the first few exchange to be regulated, and our what we call our wallet or custodian is of the highest security level. So the same security grade as the US government or the US military, the hardware security modules that we use. And we are also what we call a qualified custodian, licensed and qualified. And we go through this annual certification process by Deloitte. It's called SOC 1, SOC 2. And that is a very onerous audit. And we are probably the few custodians that actually have it, and we're definitely the first. So security for us is key. And why is it key? It's because our founders, they were trying to find a custodian solution for their Bitcoins, and we know how much they own. And it's because
you will know how the extent they go to. I'll share with you later on, but sorry, Jeremy, please continue. Sorry.
No, so basically, they were trying to find a way to store their Bitcoin safely, and they couldn't find anything that is satisfactory. And that's why they decided, hey, let us build something. and that's how, kind of partly how Gemini started. They build a custodian, and they say, okay, since I built a custodian to store it, why don't I also try to build exchange to allow people to trade in a very secure and trusted way. So I would say the security is one thing you should look for. Case in point, just recently, OKX, which is one of the largest derivative exchange, the founders was under investigation and was taken away for investigation. And for 1 month, the users are not able to withdraw just because he holds the private key signature. So that is super frustrating for a lot of people. And just one example, right? In fact, that's one of the largest exchange. And you never see that happening in Gemini. And also we have the largest insurance coverage on our cold wallet and also our hot wallet, the largest in industry. So that kind of that gives you a level of security. So that's one. And the second thing, obviously, is ease of use, right? How easy is the platform? How easy are you to on-ramp, fiat currencies? And we have about 6-7 different currencies that you can on-ramp, using bank transfer. I think up until some years ago, a lot of the other exchanges you're not allowed to on-ramp. You can only send in your coins that you got to on-ramp somewhere else. But for us, because we do proper KYC on all our users, so the banks are happy to work with us. Even JP Morgan, they work with Gemini, and we're one of the 2 crypto exchanges that they are happy to work with. So I would say that these 2 are probably the most important factor. And then you talk about fees. I would say that by and large, all the exchanges are quite competitive. So I think we are all around the similar range.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, just curious, so we read about the Winklevoss twins, how they store their Bitcoin, and they created this whole paper wallet and they destroyed all the computers, right? So they had to go through a very big hassle just to secure their Bitcoin. But I guess those were the days. But for yourself, right, how do you keep your currency, your cryptocurrencies?
All my cryptocurrencies are all in Gemini.
Huh? They are all on Gemini, no? They're
all on the Gemini platform. So I trade everything on Gemini and I keep everything in Gemini. I mean, can I create my own private wallet? Yes, I can. I just don't bother because I think I know enough of how the custody is being built, how secure it is, and I'm 100% comfortable to let Gemini handle everything one-stop shop under one umbrella.
Yeah, nice. Actually, I honestly didn't know about the insurance part until you mentioned today. Actually the coins are being insured and stuff. Because I was always the proponent about having a cold wallet, store everything in hardware, USB, but it's troublesome, right? You have to kind of send your cryptocurrency in and out. So having the ability to store something, our Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in Gemini or any exchange that is secure and really can make it very simple and easy for us to access, that's great. And I love it how you have skin in the game, right? I always tell the students when you listen to people, very simple, just ask them, how do you do it yourself, right? Then you can trust whether the words that they say. So I love it. So let me see. So Lily has a question, right? Oh, does it mean it's secure to keep in Gemini? So so I think so far, there are a lot of stories about, hackers hacking into platforms, other platforms, I would say, like the Mt. Gox incident, I think very famous. So guys, please choose your exchange very carefully. And that's why for me, my preferred go-to exchange is still Gemini. I want to be very honest, it's not just the security, but also the ease of use. Right, I'm a very lazy person in that aspect, right? If I really want to do something, I don't want to jump through 10 hoops, jump through fire, go diving in the water, then before I can buy a coin, right? That is ridiculous. And Jeremy, I just want to give a very big request, and I think many people have asked me, because we know that in Gemini there's actually 2 types of accounts, right? There is the normal account, and then there's this account called the active trader account, right? So. Right. Jeremy, maybe you can give us or our audience a quick introduction, right? What is an active trader account in this sense?
Sure. So active trader is sort of the more professional platform that is kind of meant for literally traders that are more active. They want to look at the order book. They want to place limit orders, either buy or sell. So that is a different interface that you can use on Active Trader compared to the standard mobile app that you see. It is super simple, and for a lot of people, they actually like it because you just click on Bitcoin or Ethereum or some other coins, and you either do buy or sell, and done immediately. It's immediate. I've got this high net worth in Australia. He opened an account, put in a few millions, and I was sharing with him that, hey, you can look at Active Trader, because you have all these different functionality, and his answer to me is like, I don't want to be bothered. I just want to sign in with a fingerprint, open the app, click buy.
Just give me the Bitcoin.
Correct. Don't give me hassle. I don't have time to market. It's like it just so it really depends. Some people like myself, I like to place a lot of different limit orders to buy and sell. So I like the Active Trader, but we give the option to both sides. And so just very quickly, I saw somebody ask a question whether has Gemini ever been hacked. So the answer is no. We're very proud.
The answer is no. And we have a supporter, Leslie, echoing that as well. No. So guys, I was just doing some research before this interview, right? Gemini has never been hacked. Gemini has never been hacked before, right? So that's just something to clarify. So Jeremy, can I just check, right? Can anybody open an Active Trader account?
Yes. So the whole onboarding process is actually the same. If today you already have a mobile app, what you need to do is you log on your desktop, and under settings or accounts and settings, there's one part for you to choose what interface, and you can switch between Active Trader interface or the standard interface.
Okay. So guys, for those of you, okay, maybe let me just share screen. Anyway, I don't have much money inside this account anyway, so I can just share screen with you guys. This is one of the pseudo account that I opened just to play for fun last time, but okay. So guys, can y'all see the account right now? Okay, so please don't hack my account. But
in 2 years' time, you'll be worth a lot of money.
No, but I must say I'm guilty of being very scared of being hacked. So what I do usually is the moment I buy, I kind of took it out. So you can see, guys, I don't have much money left in the Gemini account, but it's all being used. But basically, guys, this is the Active Trader account that Jeremy was talking about, right? And I've done a video on this, and I did a comparison with Binance SG, right? And the main reason why I like Active Trader is because you can literally treat it like a stock exchange brokerage, right? You can set a limit order, how much you want to purchase. So therefore, it really throws away the argument about, who has a better spread between B and ask price. Because in this case, I'm just telling Gemini, I want to buy one Bitcoin at $19,000 per Bitcoin. That's it, right? There's no ambiguity there. There's no way I can buy it at a different price, okay? So for all of you, just a very quick one. If you have a Gemini account, when you log in, right, what Jeremy was saying earlier on is when you go onto the platform, make sure you click on Active Trader, right? That will allow you to access or do all this functionality. And at the same time, actually, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Active Trader fees are also lower as well, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So it's lower, and it's kind of according to your volume. The more you trade, the lower it gets.
Correct. So for those of you who are trading more, I would strongly suggest that you look at Active Trader in a sense. All right. Although I think in this case Gemini will earn less, but I think like what Jeremy said, it's not about the profit. It's really about the adoption and people coming on board. Right. Okay. Cool.
Exactly.
All right. Great. So Jeremy, I heard from somewhere, a little bit told me that you guys have very big major development for the Singapore account holders, right? Is it time? I know. Usually you guys like to let it simmer and cook until the whole thing is certain before you make any form of announcement, right? But do you just want to give a bit of clue or hint to our audience, or is it a good time as well to share with our audience?
I mean, I'm just looking at the we've got a wonderful audience tonight, and I see a lot of people asking this similar question. And we love the Singapore community so much that I will break a little bit of the rules and share this with all of you.
Guys, this will be the first what do you call this, hot news review. First, you're hearing it first on Invest with Pete. Okay, so
my head of communication is already kind of screaming at me. Don't do that. But you know what? It's okay.
I think your head of compliance now has his eyes is twitching. Like, no.
just promise don't post it on any social media.
This is on social media.
Okay, just don't post it anywhere else. But it's fine.
Okay. So, guys, we want Jeremy to share with us as much as we can, as he can. So please, keep this within these four walls. But you guys, if you want to listen to this, type in the word Gemini. Okay, type in the word Gemini. Okay. So Jeremy, share with us as much as you can. Okay, that legally will not get you into trouble.
So I think so far, our user has to obviously transfer in US dollar to trade. So for some people that's totally fine. But for a lot of people, actually, it would have been a lot more convenient, obviously, to send in Sing dollar, which is our our standard currency used here. So it has been cooking for the last couple of months, and I'm very pleased to share with you that very, very soon, it'll be within this year, we'll be able to offer Sing dollar on ramp and also trading of our cryptocurrency in Sing dollar.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
All right, guys. I don't know if you understand what Jeremy just said because he said it in a very cryptic way. Okay, but what does Singapore dollars on ramp means? Basically, you can now, not now, in the future, fund your Gemini account with Singapore dollars, and you can actually buy directly without going through a foreign currency exchange, right? So I think that's something quite similar to what Binance has offered. So I think that really elevates the whole community, right? It's no longer about, hey, guys, this just remove another layer from you to investing into cryptocurrency, right? Previously, people thought about, I have to change money and things like that, and then they think about, should I change US dollar now because US dollar is very cheap, or things like that. So now that removes out of your consideration. Okay, so to explain it in layman terms, Gemini can be funded in SGD in the near future. Maybe I just put it in the near future.
Right? Yes, that's right.
So I can't wait for that to happen. I don't know if you all will have a launch event or something, but do let us know, and then we can bring all the audience there through Zoom or even in person as well.
We will. And I think Vanessa is asking whether it's going to be a limit.
That's a great question.
There will not be any limit.
Yeah, guys. So this is actually one of the main benefit that I prefer Gemini over Binance, is because if you are using active trader, in theoretically, there's no upper limit to how much you can buy. In fact, in Gemini, there's a block function where if you buy like a huge amount, you can actually be the market maker, basically, right? You can kind of ask for the price that you want, right? So yeah, there's no limit in this case. Okay. So the details like how you fund the account, I think Jeremy will announce in due time. He said it's within the year. So yeah, great, man. Okay, thanks Jeremy for sharing the great news with us.
No problem. Yeah. I think Robert is asking whether can you invest in Hong Kong dollar. Yes, you can as well. Right now, we already offer Hong Kong dollar.
Yeah,
you can
already. Gemini right now already offer in HKD. So correct. Yeah, you already can. Okay. Yeah, and yeah. So Chan Xiaka is asking the question that I also asked. Can the active trader platform have a mobile version? Right. So Jeremy, what do you think? Is this something that you are looking at as well?
At the moment, if you log on the active trader on your mobile phone, it is already kind of built in a way that it is mobile phone friendly. Short of being an app, so at the moment it is fine. But clearly, it's something that we are putting in the pipeline that we would consider and having that. Also, the fact is that in the US, there's actually the number of people using mobile app is a lot more than active trader. So, but Asia clearly, I think is a little bit different. I think there is a greater community that prefers active trader. So clearly, something that we are looking at.
We are more concerned about fees, basically.
We are Asians. We all want the cheapest and the best.
We are Asians. If I can save $1, I'll do it. Okay. So Lena has a great question. Is there a minimum quantity to trade for Gemini? Jeremy, is there actually one?
No, not at all. You can trade as little as $5, and that's the best part about Bitcoin. It trades up to 9 decimal places. You can buy as small as you want.
Yep. So for your active trader account, actually the fees is like 0.6%. So if you trade like $5, it will be a few cents.
Actually, trader the fee starts at 0.35, and then start to drop from there.
Oh yeah, 0.35. Yes. Oh no, sorry, I'm sorry. 0.6 is Binance.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Thanks for correcting me. Oh my goodness, I almost got it wrong. Okay.
No problem.
So you can tell I actually don't look at the fees. Okay, but never mind.
Good client.
Okay, so yeah, Benjamin, per trade for Gemini is 0.35. Yeah, and no lower limit. Yep.
Yeah, on
Okay,
active trader.
so yeah, we are coming to 1 hour. Maybe I just end off with one question, right? Like, Jeremy, for cryptocurrencies, the hardest thing that most people have is like, okay, guys, by the way, I think some of you asked for the link as well, so I'm just gonna be damn shameless and put on my referral code so that you guys can give me money. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, where's it? Oh, did I just delete it away? Okay, but never mind. So yeah, let me just put on the referral code so that everyone can open an account, right? Anyway, the account opening is free lah. Okay.
Yep,
So
correct.
but guys, please do your own due diligence Please do your own due diligence. Don't just anyhow invest. Okay. Where was I? Okay. So the last question is this, right? A lot of people have difficulty understanding like how can this cryptocurrency even be valuable. It's so hard it's not even possible to value. There's no intrinsic value, and people are very skeptical. What would be your advice, or what would you say to such people who are still very skeptical about this whole adoption of cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair question. It's not like a company, right, where there is earnings and you can use certain kind of valuation metrics. So when you look at a asset class that is like a commodity, then it really all goes according to the basic economics of demand and supply. And the beauty of Bitcoin in particular, I can't say the same for the other cryptocurrencies, is that Bitcoin, for those of you who might not be aware, there is a limited supply. So the maximum amount of Bitcoin that can really be going on circulation or being mined is 21 million. So that is a protocol that was being programmed, and it cannot be changed. So for anything that has a limited supply, then there is already the intrinsic value because of it's rare. And if you look at gold, technically speaking, you can continue to mine more gold. Of course, it gets more and more difficult, but you can continue to do that. So even gold that is not 100% scarce. But Bitcoin, that is really the only commodity that is limited in supply. Oil is not, gold is not, nothing is. So then it goes to demand and supply, and that's why back in 2017, because the demand supply driven by retail, it fluctuates a lot. But this year, I think I mentioned that before, the corporates, the institution, the real money, they're slowly coming in, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. They only just started. The institutional share of the whole crypto market at the moment is about 2% only. 2%. That's really small. If you look at equities market, for example, the institution covers like 60-70%. So you can see that with the demand coming in and supply staying the same, then the price can only go up, right? Using just pure demand supply economics.
Okay, all right, guys. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for spending time with us. Right, I think you've been over generous with your time and really sharing all your knowledge with us. Love to have you back. I think we have so much more to go through. I think we really just scratched the surface about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin over here. But really, Jeremy, all the best for the SGD on-ramp and all the future developments of Gemini. I'll be the one really looking forward to all the future development. Thanks for doing all this for the community, right? So,
thank you.
Last thing, guys. Jeremy actually very kindly is going to give out one of this book, The Bitcoin Billionaires, right, to help all of you understand the founders who started off Gemini. So it's very simple, okay? So just go and follow the Telegram, what's that, hashtag, all right, Gemini official APAC, and my Telegram, Invest with Pete. So after you've done this too, just go to the comments. Even after this stream, don't worry, same thing. Just go to the comments and comment Gemini, okay? So for all of you who have done this, you'll be entering into a lucky draw, okay? And we will find out who is the lucky winner, and we'll send this book out to you as well. Okay, so once again, thanks, Jeremy, for sponsoring this for the lucky draw. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me. And yes, please remember to follow Pete and I on our respective Telegram handle. Have a good evening.
Yeah, guys. So thanks for being here with us for 1 hour. I hope this gives you guys a much better understanding on what cryptocurrency and what Gemini does as a business. Okay, so once again, it's not about I must use Gemini or I must use Binance, but it's all about elevating the whole community, like what Jeremy mentioned. Okay, so hope this is useful. If you guys have any ideas or anybody that you think that I can interview to help you guys to find out more about the cryptocurrency or even investing in general, just message me on Facebook and I'll try to make it happen. All right. If not, that's all we have for this episode this week. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.